Oh, sorry guys, I was in the middle of catching some new Pokemon. Let's go ahead and get started with today's vlog. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Nick, otherwise known as Avialence for all my gaming stuff here on YouTube, and this year we're trying a new thing. They're called vlogs. So in today's vlog, we're actually talking about something that I've been wanting to discuss with you guys for a while that I think would actually be a pretty cool idea, and that's the idea of what if college was actually a Pokemon journey? Now, I know it's hard to think about, but all in all, I think it'd actually be pretty cool. I mean, Pokemon, personally for me, and I'm sure lots of you guys that are gamers that are watching, was a big part of your childhood, or is a big part of your childhood now, or is a big part of your adult life. I love being an adult playing Pokemans. So last October, a bunch of my coworkers actually picked up Pokemon XY, and they had said, "Dude, you have to get back into it." Because I actually hadn't owned one of these fancy handheld devices since 2004. I had gone kind of the console and the PC side of things for the past couple years, and they convinced me to buy a $200 DS Pokemon machine, which was totally worth it. Now, since playing Pokemon again, I've always had the idea on my mind of my childhood. And I had a pretty awesome childhood. I like to think I did, but I guess I can't remember all of it. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I actually started gaming in '94, where I wasn't actually playing it while I was a year old, because I was born in '93. But my mom's father, my grandfather, Grumps we called him, because he was a big guy. He had some anger problems, right? But he's cool nonetheless, and I do miss him. But he actually was playing at the time, like Elder Scrolls Arena, some of the first-person shooters, like Wolfenstein, right? Stuff like that. And whenever he babysat me, he'd sit me on his desk and play those games. And while I don't remember a lot, I do remember what Elder Scrolls Arena looks like, and I still have it on my computer to this day, play it all the time. So Elder Scrolls is something that's close to my heart. But another thing that's close to my heart is actually Pokemon. So in the late 90s, so to speak, in like 97, 98, my parents started bringing me around a lot, right, for the holidays. We traveled to D.C. to visit family. There's a couple times we would go way north or way south. I mean, when I was a child, I moved a lot, and I mean a lot. I was in Richmond, I was in Pittsburgh, I was in Tennessee, I was in Cleveland, now I'm back in Tennessee. It's my dad's job. But what they got for me when we went on the road trips was actually a Game Boy. And with that, Pokemon. Very first Pokemon games. And I played the crap out of them. I went on so many Pokemon journeys, I literally remember them as part of my schooling when I was a child. So you can imagine that when I got Pokemon XY and I played through it again, it was a hit here, man. It was a hit here because it was like going back in time, revisiting my childhood, and having that kind of experience that I missed having, right? So it was a good kind of pullback. Same when I played Zelda and stuff like that, because I did have a Super Nintendo, I had an N64, PlayStation, all that stuff. I had all those good ones, and I played a lot of the classics, and I still have very fond memories of them. But Pokemon was something that I played all the time during the holidays or the summer when we were traveling. So it really hit me there. Now, I originally had the Game Boy, and then I upgraded to the Game Boy Color, and then finally the Game Boy Advanced. That's when I got old enough to kind of understand what was going on with Pokemon when Ruby and Sapphire came out. Now, when Ruby and Sapphire came out, I started getting into the trading game with some of my pals in the schoolyard, you know. It's recess, it's time to trade and time to battle. My Kyogre owned everybody, but that was before, I guess, people considered legendaries to be banned in those fancy tournament games. But recess was no fancy tournament game. So after the whole recess thing, you know, I ended up getting a Nintendo DS when those first came out, and kept that until around 2004. We ended up selling all that stuff off, and purchasing a bunch of consoles. At the time, I got into like the PS2, and then of course the Xbox 360 and stuff like that, and the PS3 when that came around. And I'd been a console player mainly until a couple years ago when I got a PC. Now when I got a PC, I went ahead and I played a lot of emulators. I had a ton of Pokemon emulators on my phone. I had the original ones. I had Pokemon Silver, Pokemon Gold, Ruby, Emerald, Sapphire, of course. All on my phone, and I'd been playing the crap out of them. And then when October hit, my coworkers were like, "You have to buy XY." Of course I did, and it was absolutely worth it. Now, enough of my personal Pokemon history. I think you guys can tell that Pokemon's pretty important to me, but I want to talk about the topic now, which is college being a Pokemon journey. Now, I mean, I've been in college for 2 years now. It's been a hell of a journey. I've met a lot of interesting people. I've dated a lot of interesting people. I've met a lot of interesting professors, and I've also had a lot of interesting classes. Some good, some bad, kind of a pretty even balance. But with college, you know, we go there, you get an acceptance letter, right? And when you get that acceptance letter, it's great. I mean, me personally, I was kind of like, Well, okay, you know, cool. But of course my dad was like, bro, you gotta get this framed. It's framed. He put it up on my wall, and I was like, all right, man, you bask in that. It was still a pretty cool moment though, right? What I was thinking immediately though, when this semester kind of started, I was in the Pokemon zone, right? I'm starting my second playthrough on Pokemon Y, and I was like, what if, instead of that acceptance letter, I got a Pokeball with a Charmander in it, and a letter from a Pokemon professor, probably Oak, he's my favorite, telling my mother that I was ready to go on my Pokemon journey. Dude, I would be so stoked. I mean, I've looked at photos of real Pokemon, I've looked at different Pokemon games and stuff, and I just thought of how cool it would be. I mean, because essentially what the Pokemon journey is it's learning how the world works and learning how Pokemon work, kind of the way college works, or, you know, your later years of high school when you go actually go out into the world and get work experience. That'd be awesome if that was actually something that could happen. Now, I mean, the real world is full of dangerous stuff, you know. I mean, there's people that want to shoot you, there's people that want to take your money, there's people that just don't like you, and you're going to get into fist fights, and there's alcohol and bar fights and all this stuff. There's monsters out there that want to eat your face. Tigers are bad, especially when they're on Mike Tyson's place. And, you know, there's just a lot of people that are out to get you. All those things aside, you gotta admit, it'd be kind of cool to tour the world and have a Pokemon journey. Think about it this way. What if your first semester of college, instead of going off to college and studying all this junk, you had to train your Pokemon and get 2 badges from 2 gyms? That'd be sick. And then you continuously do that to climb the ladders, and then your graduation ceremony is the Pokemon League.
The Pokemon League.
How awesome would that be? Now, I've looked at a couple photos like real-life Pokemon, what they would look like. Flygon looks awesome, by the way. One of my favorites that not a lot of people use. It would just be really cool, I think. I mean, I think it'd be an interesting journey. I definitely learn a lot about people, but, you know, I'd also have my comings and goings. You learn a lot about life, how the world works, you know, of course, with your Pokemon, how to make a friendship, right? That's the whole deal. Personally, I would much rather get my Charmander, evolve him into Charmeleon, and then Charizard, and battle it out, instead of taking a German course, but that's just me. That's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys today. So how would you guys feel if Pokemon journeys were actually college or your high school, you know, kind of that becoming an adult journey? I think it'd be pretty awesome, but that's just me personally. So feel free to tell me how you guys feel about this idea in the comments below. So remember guys, if you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit the like button to support these vlogs. I will be doing 2 every week as long as you guys keep thinking they're cool and stuff, because that's how YouTube works. So support it by letting me know in the comments if you enjoy this vlog, this topic, and of course sharing your feelings on that, like I said earlier. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel for vlogs every Tuesday and every Thursday. I also post a ton of gaming stuff. If you like video games and you kind of like nerd stuff, you should definitely check out the channel and hit that subscribe button as well for gameplay videos daily. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go off, play some Pokemons. I'll see you guys in the next vlog, and thanks for watching.